Trigonometry Part 3, Example 4. Okay, they asked you to solve the triangle. That means get everything that's unknown. So let's start labeling our stuff that we need to know. So we know that this is little b. We know it. Little a. We know it. We need little c. We need this angle here. We need this angle here. So it's going to be a little bit trickier. But let's go ahead and do that. And let's do our law of sines. So let's figure out what we have. We have A and A. So we're going to have to use angle A and side A. So A over sine A equals, let's do B over sine B. So I'm going to do that, and it turns out that A is 250, sine 69 equals 150 over sine B. So I'm going to rearrange this, and really what I really need to have is, if I do all my cross multiplying and stuff, I'm going to skip all those steps because I can do a lot of that in my head and save time. You should be able to do that too. I'm going to get sine B equals 150 times sine 69 degrees divided by 250. That's what's going to eventually happen when you do all the steps. So I've skipped some steps in the cross multiplying. So which means sine B equals, so I'm going to figure out what all that ratio is. So bear with me while I type it in the calculator. Point 5601. And so we already learned that to undo sine, you do the arc sine. So what I really need to do is find, if I work over here where I've got space, the arc sine of 0.5601 will give me angle B's measurement. So B, when I type that in, so I've already got it in my calculator, this decimal all the way out, about 8 or 9 places. So I'm going to use that and just press second arc sine, and then I'm going to go second and take the answer button that just dumps it right in. So I don't have to type 0.5601, it types all those decimals in. And it gives me 34.1 degrees. 34.066, which is 34.1 degrees. So I can now write that in here. 34.1 degrees. Didn't write it didn't do it big enough there. So I'll just write it in again, 34.1 degrees, and I'll circle it. Okay, so that means we know angle C now. Measurement, well, we'll just erase that, do it in the right color. That's equals 180 minus 69 plus 34.1 . That's an angle. So I'm going to type that in the calculator. 76.9 degrees. Okay, so I should be able to get the last side. Do not use Pythagorean theorem. We don't have a right triangle here. You need to use the law of sines one more time. So I'm going to erase some of this and do that right now. Well, I can just write it right here. I can start it here, and then I'll just bring it over. If I need space, I'll do the work somewhere else. So I know that. Now I knew A, both parts, so I'm going to do it in terms of A. And I need to get little c, so I'm going to go A sine A equals C sine C. So again, we get 250 over sine 69 equals C over sine of 76.9 degrees. Okay, so I'm going to have to do some work, but I'm running out of space. So I'm going to go and to the next page. So when I cross multiply, I'll get 250 times the sine of 76.9 degrees equals, now I'm going to go back a screen here to find out, C times, I'm going to do this one, I did this one right here. I'm going to do this one right here, C times sine 69. Okay. So you divide by sine 69. Good night, Irene. Whoops. And then you divide by the sine of 69 here. And you get C equals, and I'll type it all in here. So I'm going to get 260.9 is my answer for C. So I'm going to write that on the next page. 260.9. And that makes sense because 76 is the largest angle and C is the largest size. 34 is the smallest angle, so B is the smallest size. And 69 is the middle angle, so 250 is the middle size. And 69 isn't that far from 76, so these two seem reasonably close. So I think we got it there.